It's a messy afternoon with the potential for flooding. See where our heaviest downpours are right now and how many days our flood threat lasts. Plus, Tropical Storm Erin is slowly crossing the Atlantic. See its newest forecast track and strength forecast.
Sweating out the details in Wake County. How school leaders are dealing with hundreds of HVAC issues across dozens of schools.
The calm before the storm. Hurricane season may be quiet now, but the most dangerous weeks are still ahead. Kat Campbell joins us with what to watch.
Let's get you right to some breaking news tonight in Harnett County. The sheriff's office is investigating a shooting on Kentucky Derby Lane. Thank you for joining us here at 7. I'm Dan Haggerty.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. We are told there is no active shooter. This is an isolated incident. WRAL's Willie Danley is live at the scene now. Willie, you just arrived minutes ago. What does the scene look like there?
Well, Ashley, like you said, I just got here in the last 10 minutes, and this is a very large investigation at this Trotters Ridge neighborhood here in Harnett County. You can see how the Harnett County Sheriff's Office has multiple vehicles blocking off the entrance to this neighborhood. They're actually blocking off every entrance to this neighborhood. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office has confirmed with us that they are investigating a shooting. They have not made it clear how many victims were inside of that home right there and if they have any suspect in mind at the moment. There is a large gathering of family members who had loved ones who were inside of that home that are gathering outside right now. We are working to learn more information about who was shot in this shooting and who the shooter was. We're going to continue to stay on top of this story and keep you up to date with the latest information. Back to you.
You got it. All right. Thank you, Willie. So it's been another rainy, dreary day outside, and we still have some shots for some showers tonight throughout our area. As you can see on the radar, a lot of rain in southern Wake County into Cumberland County tonight.
Yeah, meteorologist Kat Campbell is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Patchy fog out there too, Kat, and then more rain tomorrow.
It's just that gray, kind of gloomy feel again this evening and tonight. The radar not as active as it was with all the flash flooding last night, so I can offer you that glimmer of hope there. Fenton and Cary still gray out there, but dry enough for a couple people to be out and about. Some showers moving towards southern Wake County and down into Fayetteville. This isn't terribly heavy rain or anything like that, just kind of annoying rain for us as we're ready for a break. Tomorrow, very similar to today, it's going to be cloudy. Showers are looking pretty likely again. We bumped up rain chances to 70%, and it may come in 2 batches, one late morning into the early afternoon and another tomorrow night. Here's the setup. That risk for flooding will continue through Friday this week because in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we are just pumping in all this moisture from the Gulf, and that doesn't change until we get to the weekend and we see a weak front move through. We're also tracking Tropical Storm Erin. It is still a tropical storm forecast to become a hurricane later this week and a major hurricane over the weekend. I'm tracking that all-important turn to the north coming up.
All right, thank you, Kat. And the WRAL weather app puts the radar and tropical updates at your fingertips. You can receive important alerts straight to your phone. Just make sure to have those notifications turned on.
It is a problem that is really making people in Wake County Public Schools sweat. Right now, the district is racing to fix hundreds of HVAC issues before the start of the traditional school year. District officials just gave an update on their efforts, and WRAL's Eric Miller sat in on that. Eric, within the last hour, you actually spoke with a teacher who faced these AC issues firsthand.
And no surprise, Ashley, he tells us when you're trying to get 60 freshmen to pay attention in a civics lesson in 85-degree heat and humidity, well, that is no picnic. That teacher, Jeff Foose, teaches civics at Inlow High School, and he says he's had to deal with HVAC issues again and again. And having listened in on this presentation as well, he's a little worried that the district will be able to get everything done here. And it is a long list. The district has identified hundreds and hundreds of individual HVAC issues across dozens of schools. They're hoping to have most, though not all of them, dealt by the start of the traditional calendar school year. The district is dealing with these issues by providing more training for their staff, bringing in outside help and contractors, and moving funding around to make HVAC issues more of a priority. All of this adding up to millions of dollars in costs. And this does come with some risk, as other maintenance priorities may not be taken care of as quickly.
And so an example of that may be that we may be lacking in painting of schools. We may not be able to replace flooring in as many places as we want. So we're looking at using our funds in the most critical areas possible.
And this really has been a big issue over the last year. WCPSS says they had 46 early dismissals or cancellations in the last school year. Since July 1st, they've only had one. They're hoping that's a good sign that they've started to get things figured out, but they really can't say for sure yet, Ashley.
Eric, you alluded to this. This is nothing new for the school district. How do they explain where this backlog came from?
So we put that exact question to Mark Strickland. He says the answer goes all the way back to the Great Recession. Schools at the time were facing a problem with funding. They had to come up with priorities. They prioritized the classroom. They did not prioritize these maintenance needs, and we're facing the consequences of that right now.
Oh, boy. Okay. Eric, thank you for staying on it. Hey, if you are just getting to the news, let's get you caught up. Here are 5 things you should know right now. A North Carolina Central University student has died after a shooting at a Durham apartment complex. Today, police identified her as 21-year-old London Powers. The shooting happened yesterday afternoon at Camden Point Apartments on East Knox Street. The NCCU chancellor said in a statement that Powers was a social work major who had a passion for serving others. Police say the shooter, 23-year-old Damian Tinsley, died at the scene. A fox that attacked 2 people in Moore County yesterday did test positive for rabies. In less than 30 minutes, a fox bit 2 people, one on Midway Road, then another on Sycamore Street. Animal control officers found the animal under a car biting its tires. Both victims are being treated for rabies. A powerful state lawmaker took thousands of dollars from lobbyists through her political campaign, but now her campaign says she is giving the money back after it attracted public attention. Representative Sarah Stevens is a longtime member of Republican leadership. Next year, she's moving on to try for a seat on North Carolina's Supreme Court. State law generally bans lawmakers like Stevens from taking lobbyist money, but not judges and judicial candidates.
Economists expected tariffs to cause inflation to take off, but a new report showed it went up a bit slower than expected. The latest Consumer Price Index report came out today, and prices rose 0.2% last month. Gas prices fell off while food remained flat. Durham leaders are reviewing their response to Chantal. City and county staff said that big successes were found with the mass care shelter plan and residents' use of the Durham One Call. There's also they've identified opportunities for improvement. One of them is an Eno River specific alert. Staff members say they are looking at expanding emergency management monitoring to 24 hours a day. So we are still a few weeks from the peak of hurricane season, but it's kind of felt a bit like hurricane season already in some ways. What I mean is all of the rain and all of the flooding that we have seen over the past couple of months started with this. This was Chantal, a tropical depression. A little over a month ago, it dumped rain in our area, damaging businesses, wrecking infrastructure, and killing 6 people. Since then, things have not really slowed down, have they? We've seen storm after storm after storm. None of them have been a tropical storm or a tropical depression. Severe storms, though, came through on August 1st, bringing flooding to Harnett and Johnston counties. Some areas saw 4 inches of rain in just a few hours. Last week, severe storms hit Wake County. Prestonwood Golf Course underwater in this video. A huge sinkhole opened up on the road here in Apex, and this won't be fixed until November at the earliest. Spring Hope in Nash County, among some of the hardest areas hit in that storm. 2 people died after being swept away in floodwaters there. Then you've got this week. We've had heavy rain last night. We've had showers all over the area today. And with these storms, it is easy to forget that hurricane season is here. Maybe you think hurricane season has been pretty quiet so far. I mean, this thing here in the Atlantic right now isn't expected to be a real threat, at least from the earliest models. Or maybe you're like me, and you're filled with a bit of anxiety about the fact that we've had weeks of flooding, and we probably have many more weeks ahead. Remember, September is the peak of hurricane season. I spoke to WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell about what we can expect.
Okay, Kat, we don't want to scare people here, of course, but we want to be realistic because we've had so much flooding already, and we haven't even entered the months where we see the most flooding.
The most flood-prone month, specifically here in central North Carolina, is September. Number 1 is September for our flash flood reports. Number 2 is August. Number 3 is July. It's already been such an active year for us, the second wettest summer to date, and we just haven't even gotten to the most flood-prone month yet.
And I imagine those months are more flood-prone because we're more likely to see things like hurricanes.
Oh, absolutely. The peak of hurricane season is September 10th. It usually ramps up early in August and stays active through about mid-October. October. However, most of our major hurricanes, Category 3 or higher, develop after August 20th. So the big ones, we haven't even reached that date yet where they typically develop.
I feel like we've been so busy talking about these flooding events that we haven't, at least me as somebody watching the news sometimes, not just doing the news, I'm not hearing a ton about these hurricanes until now. We're just starting to see things. Is this late in the game? Are we early? Where does this stand?
I don't think we're too far off the course here for when we see these storms form. The average E-named storm forms just after August 20th as well. This year forming on the 11th. Last year we had our E-named storm form on the 12th, so we're running pretty close and parallel to where we were at last year.
Hurricanes can always pack a punch, we know that, but considering what we have been through with the amount of rain that we've gotten, the flooding we've seen, the infrastructure damage that we've already seen, is that going to matter at all when a storm potentially hits, a hurricane hits?
Oh, absolutely. Your soil, your grass, your yard can only take in so much water. And when we have already reached that threshold, that's going to be a problem. And then you've got to think of the river flooding. That's what is so dangerous here in North Carolina on many occasions. And when we have our big bodies of water, not just rivers, but local lakes, streams, ponds already full, if we've got a hurricane coming anytime soon with those levels so high, can be particularly concerning.
I know communities that have been through this flooding. Again, there might be some anxiety. We're not trying to scare anybody here, but realistically, we need to be informed and prepared.
Oh, absolutely. We just haven't gotten to the peak of hurricane season yet. It is only starting. Stay with us. We'll keep you up to date and we'll keep you safe. No need to worry.
Thanks, Kat.
Now, look, obviously, the rain and the storms, those are the main reasons we see flooding in our area. But there's another factor, a few of them, that can actually enhance that situation.
Yeah, people in downtown Raleigh are blaming new development. Maybe you've seen all the video that is around. This is flooding from Smoky Hollow area last night. People there swear it did not used to get this bad. So, is development to blame? Some say so. Let's talk about it after the break. Growing community like ours, and we like to talk about that here at 7. It's time for a developing story. Today, the plan for yet another high-rise building in downtown Raleigh cleared a major hurdle.
The city's planning commission, they approved the rezoning of 2 acres of land right near Peace and West Streets near the future Smoky Hollow Park. We have a rendering here of what they think this is going to look like when it's done. It's a 30-story building with apartments and retail and restaurants and all that kind of stuff.
But people living in that area are pushing back. They say 30 stories is just too tall.
20 to 30 stories would really be overwhelming to the neighborhood. It wouldn't transition, but be a wall that would basically help hem in the neighborhood.
The request now heads to Raleigh's City Council, where leaders will make a final decision. Now, this is just the latest of many high-rise developments being discussed in Raleigh. You might recall last month, Kane Realty put in a request to rezone 4 properties in North Hills. They want their planned high-rises to rise even higher at 37 stories.
Last week, demolition work began on the Creamery in Glenwood Avenue. So this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And this high rise there will be the tallest building in the Raleigh skyline.
Then you've got the 2 apartment towers planned right next to Dix Park. You're looking at renderings for that project. And we've seen years of projects like this come to fruition. Development in downtown Raleigh, they kind of go hand in hand.
But people living downtown are worried that these new projects could pose bigger problems than just construction noise. They think all this new development could be part of the reason downtown has flooded so much lately.
Maybe you've seen the videos on social media. The roads at Smoky Hollow in downtown Raleigh were underwater yesterday. And this is a place that people say normally doesn't flood.
So do they have a point here? Is development and recent construction to blame in some part for this? WRAL's Heidi Kirk went to go find some answers.
Less than 24 hours ago, this very spot where I'm standing outside Smoky Hollow was completely underwater. Now, as you can tell, today it's dried out, but it's left some people with some lingering questions about that flooding. For one, does it have anything to do with all of this new development?
New businesses everywhere you look. A once slow-moving part of the city now transformed into mixed-use development on the north end of downtown Raleigh.
This intersection at Harrington was totally washed out and flooded.
Videos shared with WRAL show streets underwater, just barely avoiding businesses here. Mary McKinney says it's a first for her, and it has her wondering if it has anything to do with the new development.
Yeah, it's something, honestly, that's never been on my mind, but now that I'm seeing more flooding, it seems like it's everywhere now, and so it is causing me to wonder, like, how do businesses prepare for that? And when new homes are being built and new apartment structures, like, is that part of the planning process?
The city of Raleigh says it is. In fact, they already have in place strict rules for where they can develop in conjunction with the floodplain. We asked, quote, with future development planned, what steps are being taken to mitigate the flood risk? A spokesperson sent us this statement saying, quote, the city is taking a number of measures to mitigate flood risks in locations across the city, including the Pigeon House Branch watershed. Those plans include the development of Smoky Hollow Park, realigning the watershed to flow with the park, which they say will help manage stormwater. And on a county level, officials say they have similar rules and plans in place for managing stormwater when approving those new builds. An ever-evolving situation in a growing city.
Now, Wake County officials say that they're also working with other municipalities on a 50-year water plan to help mitigate some of this flooding as we see more storms like this. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News in Raleigh.
And, you know, we know this is something that developers think about because it's not just the roads, it's rooftops, it's everything that essentially funnels the water in a certain way, and you have to pay attention to the land, the other things that are built around you. There are so many, it's complicated.
That's why those, architects and engineers get paid the big bucks, right? But they've really got to be paying close attention now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're not done with our flood threat yet this week. We've got another risk tomorrow, Thursday and Friday as well. However, tomorrow is the last day with rain chances that are going to be as high as they were today and yesterday. Still a 70% chance for rain tomorrow. The radar should settle down a little bit Thursday and Friday, but there will still be some action. Just light rain left tonight. We are seeing some showers move into the southern part of Wake County, but nothing significant. 84 the high tomorrow in the Triangle, 81 in Roxborough, 83 in Rocky Mount, 88 in Fayetteville. Cloud cover tomorrow should keep temperatures down once again. And there are two main rounds of rain that we could potentially see. The first moving in starting during the morning commute. It may not be widespread just yet, but moving in late morning and continuing into the early afternoon. Now, if this speeds up on the new models that come in tonight, meteorologist Mike Mays will probably issue a WRAL weather alert day for tomorrow because of the morning commute impacts. And then that should clear out again, kind of like what we saw this evening where the bulk of the rain was out of here for the evening commute. That may be the case again tomorrow. The difference is tomorrow night there could be a second round of rain that moves in pretty late at night. Thursday, perhaps off to a drier start with more of your typical scattered activity during the afternoon and evening hours. We'll come awfully close to that 90-degree mark on Thursday. The low-end flood threat will continue up until Friday, and then over the weekend, we see the flood threat back off. Rain chances drop to just 20% this weekend. So if you need to do something outside, the weekend's your shot. Also, I want to be clear. We're talking about the tropics. If you're going to the beach this weekend, you don't have to worry about Erin. It's going to still be pretty far away from the U.S. this weekend, and it may never reach us. Top winds 45 miles per hour, making it a tropical storm. The strength will be important because a stronger storm would get carried to the north a little bit sharper. A weaker storm could travel a little bit farther to the south before hopefully making that turn. Here's the steering flow. The way it looks now, the Bermuda high closer to it here would be stronger. This would be a stronger hurricane, and it would get picked up by the high and carried out to sea. We'll let you know if the steering currents change. That turn isn't going to happen until the end of the weekend into early next week, so we can't give you the all clear from Erin yet just because we've got so long to go. But I like the trends that we're seeing, so just a little positivity there. Looking ahead, high temperatures should be back in the 90s in no time by the end of the week and into the weekend as well. It'll be quite humid and August-like, and scattered storms are possible again next week.
All right. Thank you, Kat. A high school in our area just opened an esports lab. We're talking about students playing video games as a part of their education. This is a thing, a big thing, and it could lead students to huge opportunities later in life. And it's your one last thing tonight after the break.
One last thing to talk about. A school in Harnett County just got an esports lab. Triton High School won a grant from Brightspeed. It's an internet service provider based in Charlotte.
So esports basically means video games, but this lab is much more than just playing Fortnite. These are pictures here we have of this esports lab. It's part of the school's STEM program, so science, technology, engineering, and math. There are tons of jobs in the video game world nowadays, developing the games, playing them competitively in some places.
Universities all over the country have esports teams, and some offer scholarships. One of the most successful programs in North Carolina is at UNC Greensboro. This is a look inside their esports arena. Students play the games and take classes on event management for esports competitions and other stuff.
I mean, look at that place.
Oh, yeah.
So the Triangle is actually quickly becoming a hub for esports. NC State got a $12 million grant from the state and state funding to help build an esports arena. That's expected to open late next year. And earlier this year, the 2025 ESL One tournament came to town. This is a competition that goes from country to country every year, and this year they chose Raleigh.
Esports teams were competing for up to $1 million in prizes.
We're competing with Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Georgia, Arlington, Texas, really southwest, southeast global esports hubs. Raleigh, North Carolina is one of those.
All this to say, Triton High School's new esports lab, more than just a place for students to play video games, truly they can get paid a lot of money for this stuff.
It could be the start of a career in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting to see how that has progressed. Hey, thank you so much for being with us tonight, making WRAL your choice for local news. We got our next newscast at 10 o'clock on Fox 50. We'll see you back here on WRAL tonight at 11.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.